welcome questions in both Chinese and English, so please feel free to come forward to ask questions. And remember to please state your name and the year you are studying in before you raise your question.
Well, good afternoon, Mrs. Chan. I'm Rebecca Leung from Year 2. And it seems that what you're concerning is Hong Kong people ruled by themselves. And frankly, when we are talking about one country, two system, we cannot neglect that we should protect the interests of our motherland. And also some scholars interpret that Deng Xiaoping's one country, two system is about the maintenance of different economic systems rather than political system. What I want to ask is that if Hong Kong cannot give the confidence to the central government of giving universal suffrage, or even it will give bad influence to the central government, should we continue to urge it that fast? Thank you.
Okay. I said to you just now that as students of journalism, the first thing you should make sure you do is to find out what the facts are. And don't just rely on what other people say. Now, you said to me that some people say that the Basic Law is all about maintaining Hong Kong's separate economic system. That's not so. If you're not familiar with the Basic Law, please open the Basic Law. The Basic Law gives very detailed provisions, not only about our capitalist system, but about rights and freedoms, about universal suffrage, about separation of the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. So it's not my word against your word. And we don't abide by the promises laid down in the Basic Law. These are promises that central government have made to the people of Hong Kong. To what on what would we rely? So find out first, what does the Basic Law actually say? Why does it say what it says? Why was it important in Deng Xiaoping's eyes to protect Hong Kong's rights and freedoms? I'll give you one very practical example. Let's just talk about economic vitality. Do you think Hong Kong can aspire to be the financial service center that it is without the rule of law? Without free flow of information? Without press freedom? Do you ever stop to ask yourself why? Why is it that Shanghai is not a financial services center, even though it badly wants to be? Ask yourself, what sort of a business environment is needed to encourage people to come and live here and work here? What happens when a businessman gets into a contractual dispute with his business partner? In Hong Kong, because of the rule of law, the business person knows he can go to the court and get a fair hearing and a fair adjudication. Not so in mainland China. Why? Because in mainland China, you do not have the rule of law. You don't have an independent judiciary. Corruption is endemic. When people get into disputes, they're not sure that they will get a fair hearing in court. Now, these are the things that matter to a business person. When somebody is looking at where he's going to put his money, he wants to be sure about these sort of things. Now, that said, yes, it is one country, two systems. And I suppose the difficulty we have in Hong Kong is, how do you strike a balance between one country and two systems? Now, to me, one country means that we accept Hong Kong is a part of China. There has never been any great dispute about that. We are part of China. We're part and proud to be a part of a country that has thousands of years of civilization. We're very proud of the fact that in the several decades since open door policy, we've seen literally hundreds of millions of people in mainland China being lifted out of abject poverty. Yes, we know that there are still many things wrong in mainland China, as indeed there are many things wrong in Hong Kong. But I think what we treasure most in Hong Kong is the fact that there is the rule of law, that before the law, everybody is equal, that the policeman cannot just, forcibly slam somebody away in jail, that there is a due judicial process that you have to go through. We treasured our rights and freedoms. These are the things that set Hong Kong apart. So what you should be asking yourself is, do we believe what is in the basic law, or do we not believe? If we don't believe them, is it because we think that those provisions are bad? But if we do believe them, then I suggest it is everybody's responsibility to protect those rights and freedoms. Now, don't confuse our belief in two systems with whether one is patriotic and not patriotic, or whether one loves one's motherland or doesn't love one's motherland. I think most people, in fact the majority, I would say 99.8% or even 0.9% of Hong Kong people love China. But loving China does not mean, in fact, I quote to you, these are not my words. These are the words of Mr. Obama, the newly elected president of the United States, who said, patriotism can never be defined as unqualified and indiscriminate support of any government policy, any government ruler, or any party. Patriotism simply means that one loves one's countrymen, one loves one's culture, one would be prepared to sacrifice one's life if our country is in any way, attacked. But it doesn't mean I have to support a specific government policy, or I have to support a particular chief executive or ruler. In fact, I think it is incumbent upon all of us, if we care about the society in which we live, to speak out and to comment and to criticize when we see things going wrong. Otherwise, it is like, what triggered the Second World War? It wasn't because a lot of people didn't see that what Hitler was doing was very, very wrong. It was because there were not many people who had the courage to stand out and say, hey, this is not right. So as students of journalism, I think you should aspire to be the conscience of Hong Kong. You should be reporting things that you see going not right, or undermining our rights and freedoms, or undermining one country, two systems.
Good afternoon, Anson Chan. My name is David Leung, a Year 2 student of Journalism Department, Kong Shue Yan University. Would you please tell me the difference you find between working for a British government before 1997 and for the Hong Kong SAR after 1997? Do you appreciate the Chief Executive Donald Trump? Thank you.
Now, the first question. It's true that I think certain core values, certain systems, the way you operate within the government, although, it's coming up to 8 years since I stepped down, I do think that there are some fundamental shifts. But insofar as I and my colleagues are concerned, both before 1997 and after 1997, I don't think any of us felt we were serving the British government. Our interest was first and foremost serving the people of Hong Kong. Yes, the sovereign power was Britain, but I think our responsibility is to do what we genuinely believe to be in the wider public interest. We all realize that sometimes the views of the Foreign and Commonwealth Office, many thousands of miles away in London, do not always reflect, in our view, the best interests of Hong Kong. But when that situation arises, you always have an opportunity to argue your corner and to try and persuade the powers to be, the governors, to look at it from the point of view of Hong Kong interest. And I think, by and large, at least insofar as I've been able to see, I think most governors ultimately had Hong Kong's interest at heart.